30 projections in 30 days going into the 2024 regular season for the New York Mets as we continue our month-long deep dive into the Mets 40-man roster. Today, we go to the Mets backup catcher, Omar Narvaez. While signing a 2-year, $15 million contract last offseason, Narvaez was brought in by the Mets to mentor the young catching prospect and fellow countryman Francisco Alvarez. Given his defensive success at the position, the need for insurance was evident with a 21-year-old catcher. But as for his offense, Narvaez has really struggled to regain his all-star form since 2019. In an injury-riddled 2023, Narvaez slashed .211, .283, .297 with 2 homers and a 64 weighted runs created plus in just 146 plate appearances. At his very best offensive prowess, Narvaez is the ideal 9-hole production, with the league average player posting a sub-700 OPS over the last decade from that position. But the projectable data was still there, plus contact rates, solid pitch selection and recognition, and pulling fly balls. Over the last few years, Narvaez has been one of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball, with a career plus 25.2 defensive run value at this position, and landing in the top 25% in nearly every catcher defensive metric in the last 5 years. After exercising his $7 million player option earlier this offseason, Narvaez is now 32 years old and is expected to be the Mets' backup catcher on opening day, set to become a free agent after the 2024 season.
He's a backup catcher. Is he overpaid a little bit? Sure. But he's a backup catcher. We didn't think Francisco Alvarez, age 21, would be this generational defender. We knew the power would be there. Omar was supposed to be, split time. Whoop-de-doo. We got a break. Alvarez is a god, and Narvaez can just sit here, be the backup. Austin Barnes makes $4 million to be the backup catcher for the Dodgers, and they got Will Smith. So, again, you hope to get more value than you did last year, but, again, last year you got literally nothing. So, anything is an improvement from what he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was some injuries too for Narvaez, especially early in the season. So that kind of, he got off to a late start, and by that time, Alvarez had the job. So again, if he's a backup catcher, at least the defense will be there. That's good. Hopefully his offense is like a little better, so you're getting something more just sustainable on the days when Alvarez is out. But like Andrew said, he's very overpaid for a backup catcher, but at least it's the last year of the deal. And the ideal scenario is that somehow another team's catcher goes out and he becomes a trade piece, and then we can actually get something back for him. Like, that's best case scenario.
It's not a long-term fix to him. Again, this guy was brought in to give you some insurance, to back up and mentor a young catcher in Francisco Alvarez, who is 22 years old. He still has a lot to learn. Catcher, it's a position in development that you do not want to mess with. This is a rare case in Francisco Alvarez where at this current age, he is playing at the level that he is. It was brought in for precaution, for protection. We are in need of him as a backup catcher as of right now. And that's what I think you're going to get from Omar Narvaez. I think that he's got some decent batted ball data where he can provide you some value as compared to what he gave you last year. I think that he'll be a little bit better, and it'll show in the projections. But as for Narvaez, he needs to be better than Tomas Nido offensively. That is really easy to do, in my opinion. All you need to do is open your eyes. I want to remind everybody that projections are not predictions. They are benchmarks of the player's current specific percentile outcome based on predictive data and results. For my projections, I decided to go with, in my opinion, the current 75th percentile outcome. A majority of player projections are usually at the 50th percentile outcome, but I personally wanted to leave a median between sustainability and upside. It also helps you get a good idea of who I am high on and who I am low on going into the 2024 season. As for Narvaez, 278 plate appearances, slashing .229, .316, .376 with 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in, an 88 weighted runs created plus, and a wins above replacement of 0.8.
Well, like you said, to be a productive more productive than Tomas Nido. I mean, shit, if you cover the name up, that's kind of what you expect Tomas Nido to even do. So just take the name away.
An 88 weighted runs created plus from Tomas Nido. Good luck.
You know, if he opened his eyes, he had that, he's had his stretches where if he opened his eyes, he was pretty good.
No.
It's a backup catcher. Again, like 3 homers, you'd hope. I'd rather have a little more power of a backup catcher. But again, you saw in April when he started off, he's pretty hot. So again, before he got injured, he was he was a producer in the Miami series. And you look at that first couple weeks. But again, to be any type of production, to get any production out of your backup catcher is more than Tomas Nido. And he can be that. So again, you really can't yell about it unless you're an old man.
Way too many plate appearances. That's all I'll say.
You got to give your catcher rest, whether he's 22 years old or not.
No, but if he didn't get that many plate appearances this past season, why would he get more next year? It's like almost double what he had last year.
He was hurt all year. You don't remember Tomas Nido getting so many plate appearances?
No.
Obviously, you still have Tomas Nido in this organization, and he might factor into the playing time of Omar Narvaez too if Omar Narvaez gets hurt again. We'll see what happens with him. We're not expecting much. Hopefully he is in the lineup once every 10 days. That's what we want at the current position. And to be honest, I'm really hoping that if he is at the catcher position, Francisco Alvarez is at the DH, because I don't think anybody is really blocking him at this current point, where if you are going to give Francisco Alvarez's legs a rest, you give him some ABs at DH during that time. As for Omar Narvaez, it's a backup catcher. We want backup catcher things, nothing crazy, and he is a free agent at the end of the year. Maybe he is a trade chip. We'll see what happens, but we're not really expecting much from a 32-year-old Omar Narvaez. And I think most Mets fans can agree on that.